Hi everyone. Welcome friends to today's session. So friends, today we'll go through the book The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. So far we have completed the first 5 chapters last week. So we'll continue with the rest of the chapters. So let me share the slides and we'll go through the chapter. So the book we are discussing is The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari and the author is Robin Sharma. So the chapter 6, The Wisdom of Personal Change. So far we have learned that Julius Mantle, who went to India, he came back and he met John, and then he shares, what he has gone through, where did he go, the Himalayas, and the sages he met, and what he learned from them. Right? So when he went and met him in the office, then Julian promised John that he would come and visit his home. Then the next day he goes and visits John as he promised. Right? When he went to his house, he went into a red, you know, robe, and he was looking completely different and transformed. He was very calm and healthy and different as he used to be earlier, right? So, and he shares the wisdom, right? When he went to India, what happened, how he traveled to different places, and how we met different sages and everything, and what we have learned. The main thing is he talks about the mind control and purpose, how to control the mind, how to be in the present moment, and how to understand or realize one's purpose. So these things, he shares with him. When he shares these things, then, John's doubt that is it truly real? By listening his story, he got connected, but somewhere he feels doubt. How come a lawyer who lived, so much luxury life, who was very successful, how can one leave everything and be like a sage where he, wearing the dress or wearing some beads in his neck. He was completely different and transformed. So he has a doubt and he questioned Julian about his transformation. And he feels, this is not true or real, right? And he is feels very difficult to accept that. So he goes through this doubt and he asks the same to Julian also. So when he asks the same, then Julian explains him, then they were having a tea. Then Julian pours a cup of tea for John and he keeps on pouring it, and then the cup is filled and the tea comes out. And then John says, stop, stop, the cup is full. Why are you putting more? Then Julian explains him, the same as the cup is filled, the same way your mind is filled with your, the thoughts and the beliefs and everything. So now you cannot add something new into that. And that's why you're not able to relate it, what I'm saying. But to understand or to learn something new, you have to empty your mind. That whatever you have filled, you have to remove everything. Then only there is a scope or you can learn something new. And he explains them that let go of the old thinking, old patterns and everything, and create the space for the new ideas or the new thinking. Then the new learning is possible, right? Until we have our mind is filled, we cannot learn and cannot accept something new. So after this, John started reflecting. He when he showed this example, somewhere he reflects on his life and he realized that what limitation he has. His life was the same, boring. He does the repeated things in his life. And because of this work and life, he starts, thinking and feeling also the same familiar things. There is no newness, there is no curiosity in his life. He was leading a routine life, right? Accepts a need for change. Now he realized that he needs to change what Julian was telling, somewhere it's right, and there is a time for him to change now, and begins open to learning. Now he wants to learn, he wants to change. Now he realized, what Julian was telling is something important when he reflected on his own life, his daily routine, and everything. So commitment to grow. So he committed to John that he is going to practice, every day, being in the present moment, a 1 month practice. Discipline and consistency, that every day he'll be disciplined in his routine and will be consistently practice. Observing his thoughts and emotions, changing his behavior or habits. Invest in yourself. John tells that invest some time for your own self, your own personal growth. Then only it's possible. Growth impacts others. He says that if you don't love yourself, you cannot love others. And if you are not complete, if you're not, your growth is self growth or inner calmness or stability is not there, you cannot help others also. You cannot serve others when you are half filled. So for that, you need to be fulfilled. You need to be happy. You need to be satisfied and balanced with your life. Then only you can help others. So these two things, Julian, taught him that they are very important. So inner versus outer life. That's what Julian, he teaches him that self-care before helping others. So you need to focus on your own self. You need to help yourself. Then you can help others also. But without, helping or focusing on own self, if we just try to help others, then what happens? At a point, we lack everything. We cannot help because we are not fully balanced. That will not last for longer. Self-love builds connection. If you love yourself, then you love and treat everyone the same, right? If you don't love yourself, then what happens? Whatever the gap, whatever that missing things are inside, that's what the people will reflect. And you cannot love anyone because what we learned is, right? Relationships are mirrors of our own self. If you don't love yourself, the opposite person also, you hate them, you don't like them. So self-love is very important. And balance between the mind, body, and soul. The connection and balance is very important. Inner strength creates the outer success. If we just focus on outer things, then they last for some time. And even though we achieve it, the inner happiness, inner calmness will not be there. But if we focus on the inner strength or inner calmness or inner happiness, then it will reflect in the outer things. If you get success outside, you'll be more happy because you are happy from inside. Most of the time, success also doesn't help us, right? The true happiness is to be happy within yourself. Then everything will be falling in place and you can enjoy your life happily and even better than before. Hmm. The seven virtues and story. Here, Julian explains the seven virtues, what he learned from the sages of Sivana when he went there, right? The sages, they tell them the seven virtues which are required for a happy and purposeful life. But instead of saying them directly, they teach, they explain a story to him. And the same story, now Julian explains John also. The core teachings of sages shared through a simple story. And it's very easy to remember, and there is a deep meaning inside the simplicity. Instead of saying directly, they explain in the form of a story, which is easy to connect and accept. It's very simple to help people remember, but when you go through the essence of the meaning inside it, then it's truly, that makes a lot of meaning and essence to that. So, what is that story? The story is the mystical faith. He there, Julian asked John to imagine himself sitting in the garden, a beautiful garden with a lot of flowers and everything around him, and he's sitting in the center of the garden. And next to him in the garden, there is a big lighthouse. It is a very tall and lot of stories inside that. And there is everything calm around him, and he could imagine calm and peaceful everything. After some time, he asked him that there is suddenly a sound comes from the lighthouse, and the door opens, and then comes a wrestler outside, a sumo wrestler. He was wearing a pink attire, and he comes out. And when he comes out in the garden, he walks here and there. Then he finds a stopwatch. It was shining. It was gold color, stopwatch. Then he finds it, the wrestler, and then he puts on. As he puts it on, he feels, you know, he lost his conscious and he falls down. After some time, as they were, he was in the garden, there were many flowers, right? Out of them, there were many yellow roses and lot of flowers. The breeze was, moving. And then because of the smell of from that's coming from the flowers, then slowly he awakes. You can feel the, the breath or the smell of the flowers, and slowly he becomes conscious and he wakes up. As he wakes up, then he sees around him there is a golden, light or a path that is, he can see in the garden that's going along. A diamonds, diamond path which was shining and glowing. He could see a path that was going through the garden. And as he sees that, somewhere from his inner, it comes that he should follow the path or he should go and see what is there. Then he decides and walks on this path. And when he walks, then he, after reaching the destination, till the end of the, where the path goes, then he feels happiness, joy, and success and everything. He achieves that. That's what John tells him to imagine. He says that the story is very simple, but each symbol, whatever, everything has a specific meaning in the story. The garden, the lighthouse, the sumo wrestler, the stopwatch, the roses, or the diamond path. Everything has a meaning if you go deeper into that. It leads to growth and enlightenment. The path which is being shown, that is the path to the growth and enlightenment. The final realization, right? Simple ideas can change life. Now, after seeing all this, John is completely realized, right? He feels that he need to change, he need to transform. And as Julian explains him, the simple ideas can change life. When we practice small things in the life, be regular, be consistent, looking within leads to awakening. Instead of searching outside, look within into your own self. Julian embraces the wisdom. Whatever he had learned from there, that's what he's being practicing. Calming himself, observing his thought, that has helped him to achieve that happiness and regain his health. And now he is completely transformed person and ready to share with others. And now, by listening to Julian, John also is ready to transform himself and also he's ready to share with others. He promises Julian that once he get transformed, once he achieve, that inner peace and calmness, then he will share it with others also. So friend, the key summary from this chapter 6, change begins when we open our mind. If our mind is filled and we are not ready to accept, then the change will not happen. Real growth requires discipline and consistency. The regular practice is very important. Inner strength is more important than the outer success. Simple teachings can create powerful transformation. No need to learn a lot of, big things, but the small things when we practice or implement, when we learn, when we regularly implement them, that creates a powerful transformation. And the key reflections from this point, from this chapter, am I open to new ideas or holding on to old beliefs? Am I willing to invest time in my own growth? Do I focus more on outer success or inner peace? So you can reflect and see where you stand. So today we'll go through chapter 7 and 8 also. Chapter 7, A Most Extraordinary Garden. As we learn now the story, right, where Julian explains him, John, that he imagines sitting in a garden. The sages of Sivana also tells, the mind is a garden. And how we treat the mind is how we treat our life also. So the mind is a garden. Mind is compared to garden here. So, when we're in garden, we take care of the plant, we water them regularly, we provide proper sunlight and everything. The same way, our mind also needs, that nurturing or protection or care. How we can train our mind is with positive thoughts, removing our old thoughts, negative beliefs, negative emotions, and everything by changing our thoughts and moving into more of the positive thoughts that leads to growth. And negative thoughts are just like weeds. So we need to remove them just as we do in a garden. The danger of negative thinking. right? When we continuously think negative, what happens? Worry, fear, anxiety, everything harm the mind and our health also. Repeated negative thoughts. If we think negatively, then it leads to more and more of the similar kind of thoughts. So mental habits limit potential. We have a lot of potential. We have scope to growth. We have scope to learn and transform. But just because of our mind and negative thoughts, we stop them. We attract what we think is what we attract, right? If you're thinking negatively, then we attract the negative people, negative situations, and everything happens in the similar way. So we need to change our mindset. Energy drains from worry. If you don't do anything also, just by thinking, you will lose your energy, you will drain it, and you feel, there is no energy in your body. So thoughts are that much dangerous than negative thinking. That's what Julian explains them. Power of thought and awareness. Thousands of thoughts daily. Every day we think 50,000 to 60,000 of thoughts we get. Right? Most of them are repetitive and thought shape reality. So what we think is what we attract. That much power is there in thoughts. So mind management that leads to the life management. If you train or if you transform your mind, then your life will change. That's what he emphasizes on power of thought and being awareness, being in the present moment, not to worry about the past or future, but be more and more aware and be in the present moment. Controlling responses to life. Many things are there that we can control, or some things we cannot control in life, but surrendering to that. Cannot control even something that we cannot control, we need to surrender. We need to accept that. If we resist, then what happens? The pain comes. And things which we can control, we need to work on it. We need to change and transform. Right? We cannot control the events and everything, but how we react and how we respond to that is in our hand, right? We cannot change others, but how we react to them, that is in our hand. We can change or control our reactions. Perspective change experience. When we change our thoughts, when we shift our awareness, then everything changes. The way we look at people, the way we look at situations, everything will change. Everything is in the mind. Right? When we remove negative things from our mind, then everything is left as positive things. Right? Example is opportunity in problems. If we think like that, then what happens? Then whatever we get, we find, problems only. One teacher was there. He gives an example, where because of an incident, the school completely got burnt out. And then every one was worrying about it. But the teacher who's who was in charge of the school, or she was not worried. She said that because of this, she got an opportunity to rebuild a school. And now she can build a new school the way she wants, with more new things and all. So even though in that situation, in the problematic situation, she found a growth. She found an opportunity. She didn't see it as a difficulty and just sit and cry, that she had lost her school. But she found something new from that opportunity. That's what seeing even the problems also we can see as an opportunity to transform and growth. So everything is based on how we see and how we look. So lessons from challenges. Right? Everything comes to teach us something. No mistakes, only lessons. So there is nothing mistakes in life. Everything is experience, whether good or bad, whether right or wrong. Everything is an experience. We need to learn so that we can be more strong from that situation. Pain leads to growth. The minimum suffering is important so that we can transform and grow. Every event has value. Only if something positive happens, we are very happy. But if something doesn't go in our way, then we feel disturbed. We cannot accept. But that also comes to teach us something. Learn instead of judging. So just see what this is trying to teach me, why the situation came, what I have to learn from this, right? What is the scope for me to grow from this? So instead of judging, if you think like that, then you will find some opportunity or some solution from that. So power of imagination and dreams. Here, Julian explains that life is created in the mind first, right? So every event that we think, it's created twice. First in the mind, and then it comes into the reality. Right? What we think is what we attract. Before anything, we want in life, we think in the mind, right? I want something. We think about it, we visualize or we imagine, and then The second time it comes into our life. So use imagination positively. Use for the right thing. Don't, uh, put your thoughts on the negative things or the wrong things and drain energy, but instead use your energy wisely in what you want, in the positive things to manifest your goals. Dream like a child again. A child always is happy. He always create new things in his mind, right? But because of situation now we cannot imagine. But when we look at a child, they have a lot of things. They imagine things, right? They're always to create something. They don't worry about anything. They just busy in their imagination. So same way we need to be like a child. And as we know, our thoughts create reality. So we need to think wisely. Purpose and happiness, right? Find what you love and focus energy on it. So we have been learning this also from the Ikigai, that when we find a purpose and passion, then we feel that happiness and purpose in our life. It's by doing what we love. Right? There are many things we do just because we need to do because of survival. But few things what we like and what we truly want, we need to spend some time in a week or some time or 1 hour in a day we need to spend on what we want to do or what we like to do. That gives so much joy, energy, and purpose. And it makes us live longer also. Passion creates fulfillment in life, it gives you the direction. Focus and mental energy, right? Concentration builds power. Here, Julian explains that for everything, the concentration and power is very important. If we don't have the focus, the right thing, then we cannot, visualize or manifest things. For that, to avoid any distraction, what you really want, that focus is very important. So concentration builds the power to manifest things. Avoid distraction, clear goals bring the result. If you don't have any, goals or anything, then everything will be like a wish. Okay, I want it. But when you focus, when you have the clarity, this is what I want, and when you work on it, then it will come into the reality. So practical techniques. He says, Julian explains few of the techniques that he learned that we can implement. Heart of the rose. That is, focus on what you really want. And opposition thinking. If you have any goals or something, having the clarity and focus is important. The second thing, if you get any negative thought regarding that, immediately change it into the positive thought. That is what the opposition thinking is. Replace the negativity with the positive thought. And visualization create future. And once you change it into positive thought, then visualize that it's happening, that is real, what you want, how you feel once you get it. So you can visualize in that way. And daily practice is required. The more practice, the more consistent, and when possible, the same time of the day, if you do meditation or visualization, any technique, that gives more powerful results. The power of thoughts. As we said, the thoughts are powerful energy. Strong mind is strong life. Negative thoughts grow quickly, but replace them immediately with the positive thoughts. Just by changing our thoughts only, we can change our life. No need to change any situation, person, or anything. If you just change your mind, everything will change. And the other one is living in the present moment. The more and more being in the present, building more awareness. Avoid past regrets. Everyone makes mistakes, situations happen, but if you keep on, stuck in that, then you cannot be in the present moment. To live in the present moment, you have to remove or remove the regrets of past. Forget the past, let go. Stop worry about the future, about the past, and focus on present moment, what you can do now or how you can improve your situation in the present moment. So presence brings energy and transforms everything. When you're worrying, when you're in the past or future, you're draining energy. But when you're in the present moment, it brings energy to your life. So, friends, the key summary from this chapter: mind is the foundation of life. Our thoughts shape the reality. Focus and discipline create success. Positive thinking leads to the growth. So everything is in the mind. The mind is the foundation. How we think is what we attract, or it shapes our reality. Focus on discipline and create success. Daily practice is very important. It might be meditation, it might be your talent, your skill, if you're learning something. Anything you need to practice daily and spend some time on your personal growth. So positive thinking leads to the growth. If you change your mindset, then you will attract what you really want. And some of the reflection points are, what thoughts dominate my mind daily? When you're aware, when you observe, you know what you're thinking and what kind of thoughts are coming in your mind. Do I focus on problems or opportunity? If some situation comes, you only see problems or you see opportunity from there. Am I training my mind or letting it control me? Right? Are you being aware you're changing your mind or you're allowing your mind to control you? Just reflect. When we observe, when we be at awareness, then slowly the unwanted patterns will get dropped or dissolved. For that, our observation is very important. Being aware is important. That's what we are running in most of the books till now. Right? So friends, I hope this was helpful. So we are supposed to complete the other chapter, but we'll go through it tomorrow as we are about the time. So let's do this meditation. So friends, as usual, we'll be doing the breath mindfulness meditation. So as we learned in today's chapter also, being in the present moment, being aware, changing our thoughts. So it's possible when we regularly practice the meditation. So this is the simple technique is observing your mind. When you focus your thoughts, attention on your mind, right? Instead of focusing anywhere, just observe your breath. When you observe your breath, what happens? Slowly, slowly, the thoughts get dissolved. Breath is continuous. It has no form, nothing. So you cannot focus it or pay attention for a long time. You can just observe that it's there. You can feel it, but you don't know how it looks like, right? So that's why you won't get attached to it. After a few minutes or some time, you will get lost as you observe your breath. That means you go into the thoughtless state. If you know something, or if you watch movie or something, if you read book, that whole time you will get fully, your attention is there, you forget everything, but still something is there, right? You know how the things feel like, or if you read, your mind keeps on running. But when you observe breath, you don't have any thoughts because you cannot connect or cannot feel more than what you know about the breath. That's how it just goes and comes out. That's it, right? You don't know how it looks like, how his structure or everything. That's why you won't get more thoughts about the breath. And that's how we can slowly go into the emptiness, right? So we'll play the music and meditation. Just simply, the posture is very simple as you see in the picture. Sit comfortably, clasp your hands, and cross your leg at ankle, and just observe your normal natural breath. Dear friends, sit comfortably, close your eyes, clasp your hands, fingers into fingers. Observe your normal, natural in-breath and the out-breath. Don't forcefully inhale or exhale. Just observe the breath. As you observe the breath, our mind becomes empty. Just be with your breath, dear friends. Let thoughts come and go. Don't get attached to it. Don't get carried by your thoughts. Whenever you realize you're in thoughts, bring your attention back to the breath.
It's time we are spending for our own self. We are all into the group meditation. Go deeper and deeper into yourself. Come back to your body, dear friends. Recollect your experiences. What did you feel? Friends, at this moment express gratitude. Be grateful to your parents, teachers, and mentors. Be grateful to your family members, friends, and everyone you know. Be grateful to plants, animals, and Mother Nature. Be grateful to all the technology and devices which we are using, through which we are all connected. Elevate yourself with this feeling of love and compassion and feeling of oneness with each and everyone. Whenever you are ready, place your palms on your eyes for 5 seconds and then slowly open your eyes.
Thank you, friends. We'll see you all tomorrow at the same time. Tomorrow being the full moon, we'll do a long meditation. After our book session, we'll do a longer meditation. So please do join. As we know, full moon days, we have a lot of energy. And doing a group meditation and longer meditation, we can have the deeper experiences. Right? So we'll do tomorrow. So thank you and keep joining and keep continuing your practice. Have a good day and good night, everyone.